All right. Hey, what is up, guys? It is me, Eddie, and I am back with another episode of Katawa Shoujo. And if you're about to ask the question, yes, I'm doing this purely because I want to play more Katawa Shoujo. So, okay. Let me just do a rapid sound check, and then after that, we will get started. Okay, I think everything is good. I still haven't seen the Needy Streamer Overdose episode yet. I really gotta do that at some point. I woke up, took my pills, had a nice shower, quickly slipped on my uniform, ate a tasty breakfast, grabbed my bag, and headed off, as all per my usual daily routine. It was only after arriving in class that normality of the day was thrown off. After taking my seat, I watched my classmates trickle into the room over the next hour until every seat was eventually taken, other than Hanako's. Whoa, animation! Is that Shizune? I can never get used to the idea that she just doesn't show up to class every now and again. It feels all the more worrying now as well, given that Lily's left. Dang, I really like the animation. That is so cool. Oh, it stopped. And it was like layered too. That's so cool. As Muta continues to draw on, I find my gaze flickering every now and so often over to her seat, as if she might appear there any moment now. No one else seems to care at all about her absence, but they have little reason to. Hanako being absent from class, after all, is perfectly normal. Or at least, it was. Her attendance hasn't been all that bad from what I've seen my time here, but it was apparently much more spotty beforehand. This is also an ominous time for her to be gone. It's the day before her birthday, and my suspicions are starting to rise after the breakdown she had in class when it was mentioned. An increasing amount of thought is taken up by how I could help her, but in the end it feels like I can't do anything. The bell heralding the beginning of lunchtime rings out, shaking me out of my thoughts. A collective sigh of relief can be heard from class, though Muto looks to be quite put off. He dislikes being interrupted in the middle of his exciting lectures, after all. Just when I'm wondering what I should do on lunch break, given that Hanako and Lily aren't here, the solution presents itself. Afternoon, Hee-chan. Afternoon, Misha, Shizune. You both look as bright as ever. Hee-chan wants to know if you'd like to have lunch with us today. Sure, it'll be good to have some company. The cafeteria hums with activity, just like my old schools did. By the way, I think this is the first time I've actually properly hung out with this group at lunch. That's cool. Yamaku's is different, though, in how strangely civilized the lunchtime rush is. What one would expect to be an unruly mob chomping at a bit to get the serving area is rather a neat and organized line. I mean, even in Japan, I guess students are going to be students. There's a small amount of jostling, and people's heads are often craning around to check on what's happening up ahead, but it's pretty subdued. This is due, in no doubt, to the very serious rules regarding such matters in this school. The same strict discipline is observed when students move around in the hallways or come to and from their dormitories and the school gate. While the reasons for it may be slightly off-putting, I've come to quite like the sense of order that's enforced in the school. I didn't really like being told by Shizune and Misha to get their lunches, though. Let me increase the volume. I feel a little used as I take the seat down at the table. My voice is volume because I realize that the game volume is rather loud. I feel a little used as I take a seat at the table where they're sitting, plunking their food down in front of them. Sweet bread and strawberry milk for Misha, a bowl of ramen and juice for Shizune. I heave a sigh of relief as I put it all down, after the significant difficulty I had in carrying it in addition to my own lunch. Thank you! Misha claps her hand together before popping open the wrapper and digging into her bread ravenously. Shizune gives a slight simply gives an appreciative nod before giving her own steaming ramen a stir and blowing on it a little to cool it down. I open my own lunch, another packet of sweet bread, and then take a bite before washing it down with some juice. The bread is very sweet, and so much so that I end up forcing myself to stomach it all just to get the experience over with. Midway through, I decide to take a break from the difficult task and ask what's on my mind. So I'm guessing you two had a reason to drag me down here. You two seem to always have an ulterior motive after all. Well, that's rude. What are you saying, Hika? What are you saying, Hika? We don't have a ulterior motive. Her mouth is full of sweet bread as it speaks. It's a pretty unpleasant sight. Shizune looks a little grossed out before going back to eating her ramen. Oh, I love Misha. I wait until Misha swallows what she has in her mouth before speaking again. You're not buttering me up to make me work with you after school. Nope. Not trying to extract information from me that I might not want to give. Nuh-uh. Fine. You win. I guess you just wanted to eat lunch with someone as intelligent and handsome as me then. That's it, Hee-chan. You got it. Shizune looks unimpressed as Misha finishes signing our conversation and sucks in the last of a long noodle as she signs her own thoughts. Shi-chan says she shouldn't be so suspicious of us. She's just doing her duty as a class representative after all. How is she, or are you doing that? As much as I hate to admit it, it still looks as though I have trouble communicating with Shizune. It should be a simple matter of keeping eye contact with her and addressing Shizune instead of Misha in my speech, but when someone else is doing the talking for her, it's a surprisingly difficult task. It's a class representative's job to ensure everyone's doing alright in class, isn't it? Not really. Wait. How's making me get your food ensuring that I'll do well in class? Shizune huffs and adjusts her glasses disapprovingly. Hey, come on, be nicer to them. This is the thanks we get for giving you companionship during lunchtime. That's a total dodge of question. Wait, hang on. How did you know that I... Lily's away in Hanako's absence, since those two are the only people you hang out with, around with. You also made it kind of obvious to see. Ouch. I may have done so, but she didn't need to rub it in. Maybe this is payback for before. Right, thanks. I appreciate it. That isn't sarcasm. You should apologize to them, too. The two nod and we get back to finishing our meals. It feels a little embarrassing to be accompanied just because they noticed I was lonely, but it isn't as if they're strangers either. I mean, even in this route, didn't you hang out with Amy and Rin on the first day? It isn't long before I finish the last of my bread and started on the last of my juice, and as I do so, I find my mind wandering back to what I've been thinking about before the two interrupted my train of thought. It feels as I'm the only one in class that so much acknowledges Hanako not being there. It felt like this the other time she skipped class, but now it's even more acutely annoying. Does nobody care if she's happy or not? Have they just written off any responsibility of helping her feel better? Even if Muto doesn't try to keep her in class, and I'm still not wholly convinced by his reasoning. Hey, Hee-chan, is your juice past its expiry date? What? You're pulling a weird face like this. As if it were needed, Misha mimics my own expression. Her exaggeration makes me grimace, though Shizune at least takes some amusement from it. I was just thinking about Hanako. Oh. Misha's interest is piqued, and so is Shizune's once my words are interpreted for her. I'm just worried about her being absent so often, especially now that, with her birthday coming around. Aw, don't make him feel sad. Oh no! The memories of that incident in class are still fresh in their minds. Their faces alone are telling that much. Do you know anything about Hanako? Anything that might help? Misha shrugs and looks at Shizune, who mulls on this for a while. The only people she's ever talked to for more than a sentence or two are you and Lily. Shizune may not be able to convey Lily's name in a derisive tone of speech, but I feel as it comes through inside her sign language. The effect is lost, however, after Misha's interpretation. There are a couple things we know about Hanako as student council members thanks to records that pass through our hands, but we can't say anything about what's in them. Understandable. Sounds a lot like the nurse's patient confidentiality. Every time I find someone that knows about Hanako's past, it turns up being a dead end. The only way I'll ever find out is by asking her. I don't know if she'll let me know such things, but if it's for her sake, I have to at least try. Don't worry about it, Hee-chan. It happens every year, after all. It doesn't remove my sense of worry at all. I feel a little at fault for what happened in class, but it feels like it goes for... This feels like it goes further, even without their confirmation of that fact. Misha notices my troubled expression, her own happy and reassuring face dropping. Aww. Everyone has problems they deal with, right, Hee-chan? Yeah, I just wish I could help Hanako more with hers. With that, the conversation trails off on a depressing note. Eventually, Misha manages to pick the mood back up through her usual bright and dolly antics, but my mind remains focused on Hanako. I'll go check on her later. I make sure my drawer's locked after dropping off my school bag. Good. The dorms are quiet. Muto kept me occupied longer than I expected, discussing my studies after classes ended and pressing me on some worksheets to give to Hanako, almost as an afterthought. Absorbed in the thought, I'm late in registering the shadow that appears in front of me. Looking up reveals the owner of said shadow. I figured. Kenji. Hey man, haven't seen you in a while. Oh, hi. What's with the response? An absent-minded greeting visibly annoys him. I'd probably have had the same reaction. Sorry, just thinking about a lot of stuff. Thinking's a pretty poor excuse not to be aiding in the war effort. And how goes the war? I am preparing on it. Right now I need money to help with those preparations. If you want me to loan you money, just say it. Oh man, I'm good. You're good, you don't want my money. Hey man, don't look so surprised, it's insulting. I'm pretty big in the competitive bowling scene, but yesterday I found some guys who didn't know that. I'm fairly certain betting would be against the school rules. School rules don't matter, it's a war situation. People these days, they have no appreciation for what war means. So what do you need this money for, dare I ask? Non-perishable canned food, building materials, mostly corrugated iron and wood panels, first aid kit, camping heater, portable radio, sleeping bag, flashlight, mechanical clock. At first sight, it strikes me as a rather random assortment of objects and materials, but after a few seconds it clicks. Isn't that a list of materials for a fallout shelter? Ah, so you're very good Protect and Survive booklet. It's good to see someone so knowledgeable about how to protect themselves. You don't seriously think it's a non-zero possibility. Well, I mean, it's a non-zero possibility that the sun is actually a fabrication and doesn't exist, but you know, like, you gotta ignore stuff like that. I'm pretty sure there's a zero possibility of that ever. Hey, never say never. There is never a 0% possibility of anything. There is a non-zero % possibility that we're living in a matrix, and that tomorrow, the coder of the world is gonna start making pigs fly, and just give them wings. I'm saying. It's infinitesimally small, almost to the point where it may as well be zero, but there's no such thing as exactly zero. The chances, I don't know, 0.1 to a trillionth place. It's infinitesimal, there we go. Besides, where can you build a fallout shelter? Certainly not on campus. It's my summer holiday project when I'm at home. My dad said I could do it. Really? Yeah, I thought I'll improve my crafting skills and manual dexterity or something. Knowing Kenji, his dad probably just thought it might keep him out of his hair for a while. Still, it does make me wonder what his parents are like. Maybe they're totally normal and Kenji is just an aberration. On the other hand, maybe this kind of paranoia and fearful survivalism runs in the family. Hey, want me to help me build it? You totally look like the type to be handy with tools. If I could help, we could make a really badass bunker instead of just a fallout shelter. I doubt that. Oh, come on. See, on one hand, I get it if you're, I get it if you don't want to avoid just hanging out with Kenji, but like, bro, that sounds really fun. Like, Kenji's actually offering you a normal and really fun experience. Come on. I doubt that. Playing soccer before my accident gave me good handiwork, good footwork, but I've never really tried my hand at anything, approaching real handiwork. I'm not really. I'm just busy over the holidays. Anyway, I'm afraid. Shame. The feminists ever get hold of the launch counts. I fear that so few will be prepared, and your fallout shelter will protect you from a nuclear bomb explosion in case that does happen. A fallout shelter... Yes! Yes, this is true! A fallout... I know this. I actually know this. A fallout shelter isn't meant to protect against the blast. That's what a blast shelter is for. I thought you knew better. My mistake. My home's pretty far away from any major military site, so the fallout following a nuclear exchange is a bigger concern than the blast itself. What this'll do is keep the dust and other particulates away from me, my food supply, and my sleeping area. It's gotta last me at least 14 days, though. That is true. 14 days is a pretty long time. It is. I need 1 liter of water a day for drinking, 2 optimally so that I can wash as well. Toiletry is easy enough, just garbage pans and a bin paste placed outside the shelter area. Food means canned supplies of food. That's actually really cool. And of course, in the radius for outside communication. Right, so I can pick up on government alerts on what's going on outside. I need a mechanical clock instead of an electric one, in case the electromagnetic pulse from a nuclear airburst fries it too. There's all the other stuff I need as well, like extra clothing, matches, candles. I think I still stop time to gather it all, though. Maybe. As much as I hate to say it, I'm a little impressed. He's really researched this through and thought it through. Then again, I don't know if I want to live in a post-apocalyptic world with only people like Kenji having survived. It sounds like you really know what you're doing. Damn right I do. It must be hard living in constant fear like this. He hardly ever socialized either, so the fact that he went bowling with others in itself is something of a surprise. Oh my god. Her mentality reminds me a little of a certain someone. Thankfully, her fear of others doesn't manifest in such a distinctly eccentric way. You know, other than all the weird feminist conspiracy shit he spouts, I want to say, building a fallout shelter sounds really awesome and really fun. Oh, I really want to do survivalism stuff. Like, I have a friend who has, I think diabetes. So he outright admits that in a survival situation, he wouldn't survive long, but that he does it anyway just because it's fun. And it's kind of a LARP, but that I kind of want to do that myself. Like, it just looks like so much fun. One thing I know for sure is that I certainly can't tell him exactly why I've been hanging around him so much recently. It is late. I have stuff to do. I'll think about making a fallout shelter or something, though. Yeah, alright, that's cool. Man has to do what he's got to do, after all. Hell yeah. You hang out with me sometime, by the way. You're a cool dude. Cool dudes should hang out together, right? For some reason, that compliment actually feels kind of nice. It does. I don't think Kenji's a bad guy. He's just a little schizophrenic. The situation with this Hanako being what it is, it probably means I won't be able to fulfill his request. For now, at least. Why not give him, like, a good excuse? That'll be good. I'll talk to you later about it when I can. Cool. Later, dude. He retreats into his dormitory. Like, I don't think Kenji's, like, an incel or anything. He's just a little kooky in the head. He retreats into his dormitory room. I had better go see Hanako. I stand outside the door to Hanako's room, hoping she isn't in too much of a state as I nervously clutch the worksheets Muto asked me to pass on to her. It's one more reason to visit her, and it gives me something to talk about, so I suppose I should be thankful for him for giving me the task. With a long breath to steady myself, I rap my knuckles on the door in front of me. Silence. I listen intently for any sound of shuffling coming from inside, but I can't hear a thing. I knock on the door again slightly harder. Still no answer. How strange. Scratching my head, I make one attempt at getting to her to answer as I knock on the door one final time. Hanako, it's just me. Muto said he'd give you some stuff. For the while, the attempt seems just as unsuccessful as the last. Just as before I slid the sheets underneath her door, though, I hear the handle rattling. Aww. As the door opens halfway, I quickly try to see how Hanako's faring. It's a task made somewhat more difficult by her oversized gown hiding so much of her body. She doesn't look sick, or at least not immediately so. To be honest, I'll have preferred that to her expression right now. She looks terribly tired and appears to be barely acknowledging my presence. Hi, Hanako. Muto wanted to give you these since you weren't in class today. I hold out the loose sheets, in which she tentatively takes in her hands. The way she moves is devoid of thought. Her posture is slumped in a usual manner for someone that's so often tense and wound up. Even her eyes keep looking away from mine, doing their best to avoid eye contact. I move my head a little and try to get a better look, but she just ends up turning away. Are you okay? If you're feeling sick or anything, I could go get a nurse. Feels almost pitiful to put on such a routine, get well soon act. I can't think of anything else I could possibly do for her, though. She seems to collect herself a little at the notion, but only a little. Her head remains turned away, but her eyes move towards me. I'm fine. An awkward silence follows. As it lingers, I notice that the sleeves and cuffs of her gown bear slightly damp stains. Her cheeks are a bit red, too. Has she been crying? I see. I hesitate a little before coming out with the words I came here to say. Would you like me to stay? I don't have anything urgent to do at the moment, so it wouldn't be any trouble. Her eyes slide away from mine, and I lose any hope for an improvement of her mood. I wait for a response, but she doesn't say anything nor any kind of gesture. She just stands there looking away from me. Hanako? She slowly shakes her head. Oh, okay, good night then. With that, Hanako steps back and closes her door without a second word. More than a little worried, I retreat back to my room. Wandering up the hallway, I keep mulling over what happened. It felt like Hanako was just only half there, as if I was interacting with a robot that was just doing what it was programmed to do. Programmed to without any real thought. She was a husk of a person. This is frustrating. I hope that meeting Hanako would help the situation, but I feel like it's only made it harder to understand her. How am I supposed to try and help her when she quite literally shuts me out like that? Ah, here we are again. I don't even bother to turn on the lights, opting instead to simply change into my pajamas, quickly choke down my evening pills, and collapse onto my bed. Ay, ay, ay. Once again, Hanako doesn't turn up for class. Try as I might to concentrate on other matters, this fact continues to distract me throughout the entire day, and even as I walk through the school gardens to the dormitories. I don't think today being her birthday is a coincidence either. I don't know the link between the two events, nor do I have any idea on what she's feeling. Where physical pain, I could at least provide some limited comfort. With something like this, though, I have no idea where to start. I run the people through my head, thinking about whether they could help. Chizune and Misha don't know that much about Hanako, and what little they do know they can't tell me. Same for the nurse. In the end, there's only one person that knows Hanako well and would be willing to tell me anything. Entering my dormitory room, I notice something that takes me off guard. It's just starting to feel familiar. With everything that's going on around me, I'm thankful that this room started to finally be somewhere I could relax a little. When I first entered Yamaku, it felt immediately foreign in every way, from the untouched neatness to the way it smelled. Focusing back on the task at hand, I throw my bag onto the bed as I open the top drawer of my desk. Before she left, Lily told me to call the number to call her while in Scotland, and I wrote it down. In hindsight, I wonder if she knew something like this could happen. Now that she's out of reach, I realize just how much Hanako and I have relied on her for guidance. I dig around drawer after drawer looking for that damned piece of paper. Eventually, thankfully, I find it nestled under a borrowed library book. Probably should have just entered it directly into my cell phone, come to think of it. Without further ado, are there not roaming bills? Overseas call bills, whatever. Without further ado, I enter the numbers and anxiously press the call button. Eventually, the phone picks up, a feminine voice I don't recognize on the other end. It's probably Lily's mother. Sato. English? Suddenly finding myself unprepared, I realize I can't understand a word she says, either due to my limited vocabulary or her heavy accent. I should have anticipated this, since according to her mother is a native Scot. I soldier on in hope that she must know some Japanese, considering it's her daughter's native language. It's Tisao Nakai speaking. An enthusiastic sound of realization can be heard as she recognizes the language. My feeling of relief is immense. Ah, you must be one of Lily's friends from school, correct? Even so, her accent means I have to concentrate to work out what she's saying. Yes, that's right. Pleased to speak to you, Mrs. Sato. So nice of her to find someone so polite. Lily, dear, it's for you. Her mother seems nice, if a little over-enthusiastic, given the mundane situation. There's a small silence as Lily takes her time getting to her phone. In the distance, I could make out her mother scolding her playfully for just getting up. Hello, Lily speaking. You sound awful. She makes a sound somewhere between a dying animal and a yawn. The one thing I did remember to check before calling her was the time zone. Oh dear God. You and me both, Lily. It'd be pretty late in the morning over there, so surely it really is no excuse. And it's afternoon, so jet lag isn't a solution either. Not feeling well. I feel addicted by that statement. Just tired. What time is it there? Late afternoon. School finished for the day not long ago. Hanako's not well, is she? That was quick. My assumption that she must have known something like this could happen seems to have been on the mark. How did you know? Because today is her birthday. I hope she might have gotten at least a little better after coming to know you, but how's she right now? She missed school today and yesterday. I still have to check up on her today. To be honest, after seeing how she was when I talked to her yesterday, I'm pretty anxious. I really have no idea what to make of it. Has this happened in the past? Is it related to her scarring in some way? Unfortunately so. Roughly same thing happened last year when her birthday came up. As far as I could tell, it's because her parents died in the accident that caused her scarring, and Hanako blames herself for their deaths. What she says does seem to make sense. You could have figured this out on your own, buddy. If she's blaming herself on her birthday, she may as well be ruining that she was ever born. No! Hanako had mentioned her stay in the orphanage to me. Maybe I should take some heart that she trusts me enough to tell me such a thing. Lily seems to be in the dark about it, though, almost to the extent that I am, is a surprise. Lily seeming in the dark about it, though, almost to the extent that I am, is a surprise. So that's why she lives in the student dormitories as well. Has she told you any more about the accident? As close as we've come, she's barely told me anything about what happened. What I know about it is largely conjecture. She sounds depressed, almost defeated. Considering the trauma Hanako seems to have gone through, I really can't fault Lily for not knowing. Nevertheless, she seems to consider it a personal failing. Don't blame yourself, Lily. With everything she's gone through. There's a long silence from the other end of the line. I begin to wonder if the call cut out before the voice at the other end speaks once again. There's another person, though, that has been a subject of worry for me as of late. Your aunt? Oh? I wonder the people she could be talking about. In my head, the only friends she seems to be very close are Hanako and me, though there's a cure as well. That person is you, Hisao. There's another silence on the line, but this time it's caused by me. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Whoa. Let me just go toss this thing out. Hold on. Yeah, I figured it would eventually come to this. It makes sense. Making others worry about me is something I've actively tried to avoid since coming to Yamako. Indeed, even my reaction with Hanako has helped stave off any major health problems thanks to our relaxed and slow-paced lives. What is there to worry about over me? I apologize, I didn't mean any offense. Sorry, I was just taken a bit off guard. Still, isn't Hanako a bigger problem at the moment? For some time now, I thought that both of you may be feeding into each other's more worrying habits. I tried to amend this before leaving, but it seems to have done little. Worrying habits. When I asked you about what you had in mind for the future, your answer was very similar to what Hanako had said in the past when I asked that question was posed to her. It is well and good to want to protect her, but I feel that treating Hanako like this, as if she were a daughter or someone in need of special care, is only going to achieve the opposite. Oh, Lily. Rin. Hold on. Shit. Oh, okay. Oh, shit. So apparently this is the neutral ending. This is what you're supposed to choose if you'd made all the right choices, and this leads to the good ending, but... I listened carefully to what Lily has to say, but I can't bring myself to agree with her. Hanako's a delicate person at the best of times, and after what happened when her birthday was brought up, I think this is the very last situation where we should be leaving her alone as if she's deliberately secluding... if she's deliberately secluding herself. It feels Lily has a very definite image of how best to deal with Hanako in her mind, though, not just now, but in all the time that I've known the two. I mull over the best course of action in my head and find myself trying to verbally agree with Lily as softly and as ambivalently as I can. We make some small talk after work, but neither of us really has a stomach for it in the light of recent events. We say our goodbyes before I hang up. I want to talk to Hanako myself, to help her as best as I can. The best thing for her right now would be to have someone close to her, not to be left alone. Oh, shit. Oh, great. I rap my knuckles thrice on Hanako's door. As expected, there's no answer. I briefly consider knocking again, but I know full well that I just get the same result if I did. Resting my hand on Hanako's door handle, I try and prepare what I want to say to her. Try as I might, I can't really think of anything worth saying. I want to comfort her, yes, but I have no idea how to do that. That alone is almost enough to stop me. I told Lily that I would, so I feel that I have to follow through. Though whether I'm confident about it or not, I turn the handle downwards with some amount of hesitation. It doesn't move far though, due to the door being locked. Hanako. So she really has locked me out. After everything happened between us, the time that we spent together, she shut me out completely. I don't know if you could hear me. I just want to talk to you for a bit. If you could hear me, can you unlock the door? I wait in silence. Minutes pass, but eventually I hear footsteps coming to the door and the lock being worked. At least she's willing to hear me out. That's one good thing. Hey, I don't really know what to say, but I just wanted to see you. I just want to make sure you're alright. I take a breath before pushing the handle down and opening the door. If she unlocked it without raising any protest, it should be fine for me to go in. Hanako is sitting on the side of her bed, her face sullen as if deep in thought. Her room is as stark as ever, and right now it seems to perfectly suit the mood it gives off. Eventually, her eyes slowly move to the door. As soon as she notices my presence, she darts off her bed and jumps to her feet, facing me straight on. Her oversized gown makes the gesture look all the more sweeping as it freely moves about her light frame. What are you... I quickly regret coming in as I look at her. She looks depressed, but there's a tinge of anger behind it, so she can make this kind of expression as well. I just wanted to check that you were alright. I just thought it would be okay since you unlocked the door. Hanako opens her mouth to speak, but quickly closes again before looking away. We stand in silence for a while before she steps back and sits down on the side of her bed. I'm not sure whether she's... hold on. I just realized this was a little tilted. We stand in silence for a while before she steps back and sits down on the side of her bed. I'm not sure whether she's frustrated with me and resigned to the fact that I'm here or genuinely okay with me being in her room. Once again, I find myself completely unable to work out how she feels. It's annoying. I end up walking to her desk chair and taking a seat. I do it slowly to allow her time to raise any issues she might have me with me sticking around, but she doesn't say anything. All she does is stare at the ground, not moving a muscle. After sitting with my front to the chair's back, I take a better look at Hanako. She appears pale, but her cheeks look red. I'm not sure she's been eating well either, given how thin her frame looks. Lily might have said it would have been better if I kept more of a distance from her, but it's hard to think of that as the correct way to deal with Hanako when she looks like this. She keeps looking at the ground without saying a word, as if waiting for me to say something. It's entirely reasonable since I'm the one who came into her room. Want to go out somewhere? Going down to the hill to town might be a bit much, but we could at least go for a walk outside. Why do you want to do that? I was just thinking it might help you a bit. You spend so much time inside. Your skin's going pale as Lily's before long. Your skin's going to get as pale as Lily's before long. Don't say that. I snort in amusement, expecting Hanako to do the same, but she gives no reaction. She just goes back to looking at the ground. If you don't want to go, I don't want to go either. It's fine. I played soccer and hung out with friends after school a lot before coming to Yamako, so I like being outdoors. Well, now it feels like you're forcing her. Before she thought she was forcing herself, now you're forcing her. Great. Hanako shows no visible reaction. It's hard to talk to her when the discussion is so one-sided. We could go to the library. If it wasn't closed by now. The gardens would be fine, though. She begins to play with her hair. It's distracting, and it strikes me as a little unusual for her. Then again, since the incident in class happened, I've been tiptoeing around her for fear of hurting her again like that. Actively trying to get her outside might be a good thing. I leaned forward a bit more in the chair to give her a slightly forced smile to try and lighten the mood a little. There wouldn't be anyone around by now, so you wouldn't have to worry about anyone getting in our way. It could be a little date or something. I give a small chuckle as Hanako stops playing with her hair and grips a bit tightly. Hanako's mouth moves, but try as I might, I can't pick up what she's mumbling. Hanako? You don't understand. Even now, I barely understand what she says. It feels like she's trying to make her presence as small as possible. That's incredibly natural for her to do this in class around others, but it hurts when she tries it around me. I told you it's fine. It's just a little walk. Nobody will notice us. I get out of the chair and walk towards the door, turning back to invite Hanako along. Once again, she doesn't respond at all to what I say. I'll be honest here. Damn, I know this is not gonna end well. I don't. Going outside for a bit is good for clearing your head. I was about to say, I feel like this is how I'd react, but never mind. I would. The moment she said that, I feel like I'd started to back off. Can you not read the room, Hisao? Going outside for a bit is good for clearing your head. Why do you want to do this? Because I want to help you. I don't want help. You just come here to try and get me out. I don't mind. I think everyone needs help sometimes. When I was trying to get through my first days at Yamako, you and Lily helped me a lot. Besides, I'm not exactly busy. I don't want to go. I'm fine. Don't force her, though. I don't think it's really healthy to stay indoors that long. The sun's got a little life in it, so it's not too late to have at least a little walk. I could probably use a bit of exercise anyway, to help wake me up. I've got some homework to get done, and it wouldn't be good to fall asleep halfway through doing it. Then go. By myself? She nods. Well, I'm not really against that, but are you sure? I swung by to invite you to come with me. I'm fine. You can go. Come on, it's just a small walk. You're pressuring her now. Please go. I'm fine here. Hanako? I try to look at her face to gauge her feelings, but her expression is wooden, as if it were so carefully arranged that a single movement might cause it to collapse. If you want to stay here, maybe we could play a game. Just please, I don't want to do anything right now. Surely there's something you want to do. It must be boring sitting here in your room alone. I want you to go. Come on, you don't have to be like that. I just want to spend time with you. Lily and I are worried, so... You talked to her? Yeah, we were on the phone just a little while ago. We're both really worried about you. Hanako mumbles to herself again. It's increasingly disturbing. Hanako, I'm telling you, please go away. You don't understand anything. We just had a talk. You could tell me what I don't understand. I just want to protect you. I don't really see... Get out, please. Just locking yourself in a room isn't going to help any... Dear God, help anything, Hanako, please. Silence. Hanako, I just want to help... She suddenly storms off the bed, turning me to with an expression that catches me completely off guard. Get out of my room, get out of my room, get out of my room. Hanako yells at me for a force that, for the first time in a long time, I feel genuinely frightened. I have no idea how to react to this, and from Hanako of all people. Leave, I'm telling you, go. But I was just trying to help you. I know I need help. I know I'm broken. I don't need you to tell me that. I never said you were broken or anything like that. It's written on your face. It's written on Lily's face. It's written on everybody's faces. I see a therapist every week. Lily dotes on me as if I were her child, and now even you. Nothing's changed, nothing at all. I hate Lily, and I hate you more than anyone. Her face moves in strange, almost grotesque ways. I've never seen someone completely lose it before, but it looks like the usually quiet and withdrawn girl in front of me is going into it in such a destructive cycle before my eyes. I don't know what to do. I have no idea what I should say or do. Go, leave me alone, get out of here. I take a step back, then another, then another. My retreat is only halted when I feel the door against my back. I can't fix the situation. Nothing I say would fix anything now. I feel like I'm in a strange and deeply unsettling foreign world. I don't want to be here anymore. The door handle fights its clumsy attempt to open the door without turning my back to Hanako. Eventually, thankfully, as the handle moves down, I move the door as fast as I can and almost leap backwards through it. As I go through, I keep my eyes on the girl in front of me. She's not broken. Hanako isn't broken. If she was ever broken, then I'm just as broken as she is after all that happened to me. Lily only ever did the best by her, and I only tried to protect her as best as I could. Hanako looks down, her energy spent. Now that I stepped out of her room, the worst of her fury is gone. But even now, I can't bring myself to argue with her. It's not just a deep shock at what she said. It feels like something else is stopping me. Something deep that makes me feel physically sick. Without a word, I slowly shut the door. The creak of the old hinges sounds almost deafening. With a final thud, the orange door closes. Oh no, the Hanako that I knew disappears behind it, and only a faint orange slivers of light peer around the very edges. Oh no, something gonna... I have a really terrible... Oh no. I feel like something really bad's gonna happen. At least in Amy's bad end, she... Like, yeah, it was terrible for both of them, but at least she was... I feel like something's about to happen. I feel numb. Without anything else to do, I begin to walk back to my dormitory room, mechanically placing one foot in front of the other while barely registering a thing around me. My mind keeps ticking, questioning everything that I thought I knew about Hanako. The one thing is not questioned, that shutting that door behind me brought a close to more than a single visit. Oh. Wait, that's it? Wait, Hanako bad ending. Uh, well, I'm not satisfied with that. But we have to get the neutral ending out of the way first, so... I listen carefully to what Lily has to say, but I can't bring myself to agree with her. Hanako's a delicate person. Wait, what? Yeah, trust my own judgment. I rap my knuckles thrice on Hanako's door. Wait, what? Wait, that was the exact same. Since you unlocked the door, Hanako opens her mouth to speak, but quickly closes again before looking away. We stand in silence for a while before she steps back and sits down on the side of her bed. I'm not sure whether she's frustrated with me and resigned to the fact that I'm here, or genuinely okay with me being in her room. Once again, I find myself completely unable to work out how she feels. It's annoying. I end up walking to her desk chair and taking a seat. I do it slowly. Hold on, let me turn up the fan. God, it's getting hotter. I do it slowly to allow her time to raise any issue that might have me with me sticking around, but she doesn't say anything. All she does is stare at the ground, not moving a muscle. After sitting with my front to the chair's back, I take a better look at Hanako. She appears pale, but her cheeks look red. I'm not sure she's been eating well either, given how thin her frame looks. Lima might have... Hanako? You don't understand. I don't. Going outside... Uh-huh. I don't think it's really healthy to stay indoors that long. The sun's got still a little bit of life in it, so it's not too late to have at least a little walk. I could probably use a bit of exercise anyway to help make me up. I've got some... By myself? She nods. Just locking yourself in your room again isn't going to help anything, Hanako. Please. Oh, come on! Leave me alone, get out of here. What? Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? Oh, okay. The guy didn't tell me. Oh no, the guy's just confusing. Well, here we go again. Okay. The bus stops. This one choice gets me onto the neutral ending, and then I'm gonna have to do the good. Oh, dear God. Hold on. When was this? The bus stops, standing by the school gates like a mute sentinel. Standing by the school gates like a mute sentinel puts a strange idea in my head. Do you want to head to town and look for a bookshop or something? We have the rest of the day free. It's a long shot, as Hanako doesn't like going to the city. That's right, folks. We're gonna get a better ending than that. That wasn't canon. That wasn't canon. It's a long shot, as Hanako doesn't like going to the city. I count the fact that we managed to get her out there, even when it was so dark, as a small miracle, but I genuinely want to spend more time with her. Anyway, she's likely to refuse and go back to... Okay. Really? Really? Let's go. Oh, so this is right after Lily leaves. Oh, okay. I can't work out why Hanako had decided to agree with me, but I'm not about to ask her to change my mind. Stepping off the bus, I immediately noticed that a lot of people are around us. In hindsight, it should have been obvious. Of course, lots of people will be downtown on a Saturday afternoon. Hanako retreats very close to my side, and I can feel her hand clutching my arm tightly. Her body is held against mine, and her head is bowed so low that her hat hides most of her scarring. So, where shall we go? A bookshop? Hanako's present and my other general living expenses have pretty much drained my budget, but I should be able to afford a few books. There's something I want to try to reserve a few funds for anyway. For a few seconds, I think Hanako didn't hear me, but then I looked to my side and noticed her nodding almost imperceptibly. Okay, do you know one? Actually, I do. We passed a few times when Lily and I were looking for your presents. Hanako's expression clouds a fraction. I've got to remember to stop bringing up her birthday. To be fair, I can't really blame him. You both spent a lot of time. Or maybe I misjudged the situation. We want to make sure we got the right presents after all. Hanako smiles and blushes a bit. Aw, it's a small treasure when she does. Anyway, there should be a bookshop ahead. Do you want to go check it out? Sure. Aww. The crowd starts to build as we head towards the bookshop along the raised walkways. Hanako latches her other arm onto me as well, making our progress a little slower. As we walk, the sound of traffic makes me think of a possible distraction for her. I was wondering, Hanako, have you thought about when you're going to learn to drive? Driving? Yeah, you're kind of lucky in a way. There aren't a whole lot of students in Yamaku that are allowed to drive. It's not the best topic of conversation, but I want to try and distract Hanako from the situation. She's really high-strung right now. Then again, all I've done is really make her feel awkward, since she's probably never thought about it. I wish I hadn't said anything. Oh, okay, no answer. Wait, Hisao, are you not allowed to drive? Damn, that's a shame. Before long, before one of the bookshops Lily and I passed by during our search. What kind of self-respecting bookshop closes on Saturdays? Bookshops don't make much money anymore because of the internet. Maybe they just had to close over weekends. She seems pretty knowledgeable on technology. I guess it's a pursuit that will lend itself well to someone who enjoys solitude. What wasn't the 2010 like? No, even at this, really? I thought even around this period, like, IT was like the hot thing. Oh, I guess that makes sense. It's easier to find books online. Anyway, it looks like this idea is shot. Though, to be fair, wouldn't it be better to be closed on weekdays and open on weekends only then? Anyway, it looks like this idea is shot. Anything else you'd like to do? It's not a bother. Could you show me where you bought my present? Aww. Sure, not a problem. It's not far from here. I head off in the direction of the store, only half sure of its exact location. I don't want a repeat of last time, spending the day wandering around aimlessly. Here we are, Othello's Antiques. It's small. Oh yes, it took Lily and me some time to find it. Can we go in? I don't see why not. It's open. Hanako pushes the door and enters before me. Once again, the store is empty, save for its store owner. His face drops a little when he sees me. Oh, you're not here for a return, are you? Well, that's not the girl you had with you last time. Or no, we're not here to return anything. We were just in town and wanted to have another look in here. The store owner considered this for quite a long time. I guess he's not used to high school students coming to his shop on a regular basis. Might this be the friend you bought gifts for? That's right, they're presents for her. The store owner turns to Hanako, who freezes on the spot like a deer caught in the headlights. Aww. He moves to address her, but stops before doing so, looking taken a little aback. He catches himself staring and looks to the side, addressing us indirectly. His expression is awkward and intense, as is his entire body. I want to be mad at him, but I know full well that I had the same instinctive reaction when I first saw her. First surprise, then curiosity, then an awkward look away as I dealt with what I've seen. Hanako looks less panicked than before, but I feel like the feeling she's giving off now is worse. It's not anger, nor annoyance. If anything, it's one of apology. You're lucky there, young lady, to have friends that care about you as much as they do. Thank you. If I hadn't spent so much time with Hanako, I wouldn't have even realized that she said anything. Then again, the store owner's mumble was hardly clear either, thanks to in part being directed away from us. Hanako strikes out into the store, gazing in wonder at the various items on display. She finds the doll sections, spends lingering minutes studying each and every one. The side of Hanako I've only barely been introduced to. I was astonished when Lily said she liked dolls, and even more so to find her collection sitting on her dresser. She looks a little better now that she's distracted and out of the store owner's sight, but I'm still quite put off by the whole experience. I might have my own problems, but I've never had strangers react to me like that, as if I were something completely alien to them. This is a nice shop. Yeah, it's not what I expected. Do you want to buy something? I didn't bring any money. Well, we could always come again. Now that I know where to find it, that is. We can? Of course, we could come here as often as you'd like. Thank you. You don't need to thank me. I almost forgot where this place was. I don't really think either of us completely believes in what we're saying, but rather we're just repeatedly repeating what we think we should say. Can we go back to school now? Aw, sure, let's go. As we leave for the bus stop, I see the store owner peek through the curtain at the back of the shop. I'm not really sure what that glance he gives to her says. It feels a bit weird, and the fact that Hanako didn't see it is both a relief and a bit frustrating. Hanako and I stop walking once we reach the concrete area between the dormitory buildings. There's barely a word said between us on the way back from the city. Well then, goodbye. Do you want to have some tea or something? How about a game? Hanako shakes her head embarrassedly. I'm tired. Maybe later. I've got homework. She sounds a little depressed. Hanako obviously wants to do more, but I suppose she would have a bit of schoolwork to catch up on. She's missed a few days of lessons. Homework. Thanks for reminding me. I've got a stack to do as well. I guess I'll see you tomorrow. See you, he saw. Before I could say goodbye, Hanako has turned and begun walking towards the entrance to the female dormitory building. I look to the door she disappears through for a bit before going off a bit towards my own dorms. Today was a tiring day. We're on the right track. We're on the right track. Well, no, we're not on the right track. We're on a slightly better track than before. Uh-huh. 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 Right, and you're gonna be nicer to them this time, right? Right, we've seen this. Sweetbread and strawberry milk for Misha, a bowl of ramen and juice for Misha. I Thank you. Misha claps her hands together before popping open the wrapper and digging it into her bread ravenously. Shizune simply gives an appreciative nod before giving her steaming ramen a stir and blowing on a little to cool it down. Be nicer to the— are you gonna be nicer to them this time? Yeah, don't— yeah, same as usual. Wait, hang on. How did you know that I— okay, yeah. Ouch! I may have done so, but she didn't need to rub it in. Maybe this is payback for before. Right, well, thanks. I appreciate it, and that isn't sarcasm. Does nobody get— right, right. Is it just me, or is the music different from last time? Yeah, I think the music's different. Right, right. And we also saw this. Right, right. He's Fallout Shelter, which is actually pretty badass. And as I mentioned earlier, it's something I actually do want to try someday. It seems like a lot of fun. Like, I really don't think it's actually going to help me much, but it just looks fun. To be fair, I feel like in the bad ending, he genuinely does get to help Kenji out. Look on the bright side. You get to help Kenji build this Fallout shelter. Yeah. We remember this. And we literally, quite literally just saw it, so, you know. Okay. I'm gonna try to read the dialogue if I feel like there's even a slight difference in them, but as far as I'm saying, I don't see any difference. When I go back and play through the good route properly, I'm not gonna skip anything because it's been a while. You get what I'm saying, right? But yeah, I'm fine. An awkward sounds follows. Would you like me to stay? I don't have anything urgent to do at the moment, so it wouldn't be any trouble. I'm fine. I see. Hesitate a little before coming out with the words I really came here to say. Would you like me to stay? I don't have anything urgent to do at the moment, so it wouldn't be any trouble. Her eyes slide away from me, and I lose any hope for an improvement to her mood. I feel like she's not as, Never mind. Well, she's actually talking back. Hanako? She slowly shakes her head. Okay, good night then. That Hanako steps back and closes the door without a second word. More than a little worried, I retreat back to my room. Okay, never mind. It's the exact same. I must have misremembered. Mm-hmm. Right. Right. Right, I remember that. Right. Uh-huh. Right, we've heard this. Right. Right, and then you speak, and then Lily comes over, and she's up late. Dying animal and a yawn. This is friendly fire he saw. Okay, so this conversation goes the same. To be fair, I know I already said this, but Hisao, come on, you couldn't figure this out on your own, or at least just come up with a theory on your own. Right. He saw himself. Oh. Do I even save? I'll save because it's tradition, but at this point... Oh yeah, I'm supposed to trust my own judgment, right? I listen carefully to what Lily has to say, but can't bring myself to agree with her. I want to be with Hanako more. Oh! I want to be a better friend to her, to support her when she needs support and be there when she most needs people. I think that now is one of those times. The memory of the store owner we met in town together still puts me off. Anyone who takes even the slightest glance at Hanako ends up staring, and to fault them for it would be completely hypocritical given my own reaction. I don't like my own scarring either, but at least I could cover it up with something as simple as a shirt. I can't imagine a life where every day will be spent trying to hide myself as much as possible, and on the topic of that, Hanako doesn't even have people around her that would support her no matter what she looks like. I live away from my parents, but I can still contact and visit them when I wish. I mull over the best course of action in my head, and I find myself, verbally, we've seen this. That dialogue was new. There's at least one thing I could do for Hanako. If I make a small gesture for her, I can only hope that she allows me to come that a little bit closer. After talking to Lily at the end of the school day, I sat at my desk and looked out the window, idly watching students leaving the school building. Usually they left in groups, but even when they left alone, they usually say goodbye to their friends first. It's completely normal. Something that I would have missed completely had it been any other day because it's so mundane. But something Hanako has never had in the time I've known her. As I stand outside of Hanako's door for the second time in as many days, that fact doesn't leave my mind. I hold 2 plates in my hand. One is not exactly the most hearty of meals, but I want to be sure that Hanako is at least feeding herself. It may be a way to gain a little leverage in getting her to let me in. Lily and I have tried our best to be there for her. Ever since she broke down in class, I've dearly wanted to protect Hanako. Such a thing happening to her again, or even something worse, is something that I don't want to think about. The door gives a solid series of thuds as I knock onto it, while carefully propping up one plate on my other arm. I doubt Hanako will open it for me, so I could really accomplish is to attract her attention. Evening, Hanako. It's just me. I pause for a moment to see if she'll respond, but the fact that she doesn't is very surprising. I have some food for the both of us. Could I come in? For what feels like a very long time, some muffled voices from the floor below are the only sounds to be heard. Then I can hear the sound of bare feet on the floor coming up to the door, and I stifle a sigh of relief as I hear the door locks being worked. When Hanako opens the door, I look at her intently. She looks up momentarily to the plate in my left hand. It's a modest curry dish I quickly made from a packet. Aww, but that means the world for... That would mean the world, wouldn't it? Her eyes move to the plate in my right hand, which holds the same thing before looking down again. As she shuffles back into her room, I realize I haven't said a word to her. I glumly follow her in, slightly embarrassed by having been so wrapped up in observing her. More than ever, the grain-struck atmosphere of Hanako's room feels like a reflection of her personality. The voices from outside become completely inaudible, and the sounds inside oppressive once I close the door. Walking to the far end of the room, I place the 2 plates on her desk. I'm thankful that she let me in, but as I turn to face her, I can't help but having second thoughts about coming to see her. I don't believe Lily was right, though. Looking at Hanako like this, I can only think that giving her space is the last thing we should be doing. I don't want to imagine it, but she may do something very foolish. It's just an instant meal, but it should be filling. I take a plate in my hand, offering it to her. She wordlessly takes it and sits on the side of her bed. I take a seat on a chair, and the familiar sound of eating rings in the room as we dig in with the forks that were stuck into the rice. The curry itself tastes okay. I wouldn't expect much more from a packet whose brand I didn't recognize, so it not being horrible is at least something. Eating takes the edge off the fact that she isn't talking. Neither of us really like to talk while we're eating, and this reminds me of the lunchtimes we so often spent together. It's kind of nice eating together like this. Hanako looks at me quizzically. It's at least a better expression than what she's been wearing this far. We've been friends mainly over sharing lunch breaks, so it's nice to get back to those times a bit. She hesitates for a couple seconds, and I find myself grimacing. Did I say something wrong? You're a lot more careful than last time. I like that. Eventually, she smiles and nods. I would normally be very encouraged by this, but her smile looks strange. I can't quite put my finger on why. Everything's the same as before, isn't it? Yeah, of course it is. You still got Lily and me to help protect you, and once she gets back, everything will be just like... help you and protect just like she never left. Hanako nods again, her expression remaining exactly the same as before. It feels like a different Hanako from the one I first seen when I entered the room, and it's vaguely off-putting. Both of us go back to finishing off our dinners after the short exchange. Despite Hanako looking happier than before, my eyes keep flicking to her as if to reassure myself of this fact. Before long, the last of Hanako's curry is cleared, and I finish last to mine as she puts the empty plate on the desk. I place my own empty plate and used fork on top of hers. I briefly wonder what I should say, desperately wanting to avoid another awkward silence or the prospect of leaving her room after so short a time, but Hanako is the one to speak up first. I was wondering, since you're here, she quickly goes to one of her drawers and after minimum of fussing around, pulls out her chessboard. Yes! Yes! Yeah! Would you like to play? Yeah, baby! Let's go! This time I can't stifle the sigh of relief that escapes my lips. I hastily agree, and Hanako promptly busies herself setting up while I get off the chair and take a seat on her bed. Once again, Hanako's willing to let me into her world with so simple a gesture as a game shared between us. I guess I was just winding myself up for no reason. Oopsies. Sorry, my mouse is a fancy like a button that allows it to cycle up the sensitivity. And I like to keep it on 1600, but sometimes I accidentally press this button in the middle and it goes up. Because I'm trying to press the click, but I end up placing my finger wrong sometimes. Anyways, after the board is laid down on the bed between us, we finish placing our respective pieces on it. Throughout our friendship, we've never exchanged that many words. When we're like this, though, I see that perhaps we never needed to. Just a simple book or board or this meal between us is enough to bridge that distance. I make the first move just as I've always done. This is the way our friendship was, and I think This is the way it probably will be. Something definitely feels different about her, though, and I can't quite grasp what it is. I look at Hanako intently, but I can't work out anything from her expression. As physically close it may be, it feels like we're further apart than ever. Hanako is a fragile person, though, and I would never want to hurt her. This is also the way things were, and the way things between us will probably always be. Oh. Oh. Oh, that was short. Oh. Well, that wasn't that bad. I mean, I'm kind of sad I don't get to be together with her, but that wasn't terrible. It could have been worse. Okay. I mean, okay. But we're just... I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not satisfied with that. But... I'm not satisfied with that. But still, like, that's, you know... there's an ending. It feels like it's incomplete. It's like, that's it. Yeah, none of us are satisfied with that, are we? Back here, let me make the decision that realistically I think I would have made. What do you say, Hanako? That's right, folks. We're going on the good route now. I'm choosing something that I realistically would have done. What do you say, Hanako? If we could help it. It shouldn't take long at all. Hanako's fidgeting answers my question before she can even form the words. I really need to go. Well, that was to be expected. It looks like it's just me and this council of girls again. It's easy to resign myself to another afternoon's work in the small council office. What? Oh, I'll catch up with you later, okay? Okay. Right, now the farewells are over, it's work time. Mizune and Shizune frog marched me to the student council office, never once letting go of my shoulders. I feel a little bad for ditching Hanako like this, but if this is the price of getting Misha off her back, so be it. How exactly does this help Hanako? So then, what are we up to today? I mean, don't get me wrong, this is what I do because I factor in people, everyone, right? Not just Hanako, but like, just how does this help Hanako specifically? So then, what are we up to today? Debrief. Huh? Isn't that supposed to happen after something? Yep, we have to collate all the information from the festival so that Shi-chan can debrief the teachers. Oh dear god. Shizune drops a large pile of paperwork on the desk in front of me and smiles succinctly. The festival feels like forever ago from now, my perspective now, damn. You need to sort these things out in 2 piles. One for financial stuff like receipts, one for feedback, one for positive feedback, maybe for things that look like they could be problems next year, one for problems that probably won't be able to be fixed. A few more than 2 piles. Huh? Oh yeah, right. I thought it would be only 2 piles. My bad. Right. While we're doing this, what will you two be doing? Well, we missed lunch because we were collecting all these reports, so we're gonna go get some food. Why did you just sort them out while you were collecting them? Thankfully, my self-defense mechanism kicks in and prevents me from opening my mouth and further worsening my situation. Eh? How's that fair? I was fretting over the unfair distribution of work so much that I didn't notice that Shizune had kept on signing. If it weren't for Misha's outburst, I probably wouldn't have noticed at all. She stays easily delivering a fairly long list of string commands to Misha, and none of them look pleasant. Reaching a conclusion, Misha signs briefly back to Shizune, then sits down at the desk next to me. Shizune waves to both of us before disappearing out the door. What was that all about? Shi-chan was worried you'd get it all wrong unless you were supervised. And since she can't tell you how you are messing things up, she's making me stay. Aw, Bunner, I want to go with Shi-chan. She's gonna bring us back some food. Aw, that's super cool. How good is that? Misha's flippancy is out of the world, from down in the dumps to on top of the world over some calories. It's hard to imagine how anyone could operate at this level. I mean, to be fair, it's like not... I'd be honest, I'd probably be like this too, because this isn't that big of a deal. Like, if it's something like really major and really depressing, then yeah. But this is something small. Like, come on, it's just being bummed out a little overwork, and then you see, oh, something good's happening, and then you're happy again, because it's not a big deal at the end of the day. Well, it could have been worse. So what are we supposed to be doing? Collation. Collation. I gathered that. Well, we'll just start making piles. We'll work out what the piles mean later. Right. We start to separate all the papers into increasingly complex piles. At first, it's simple categories: financial, feedback, incident reports. Then they split apart into the good and bad reports, and further still until it starts to look like we've just thrown the papers onto the desk. This is hopeless. Huh? Why? We're doing what we're told, right? Yes, but it looks like we're just making a mess. No, I think we got a lot done. Shizune will be able to work out the rest from here. So I think we can stop about here then. It's almost as if Misha's common sense left the room with Shizune. God damn, this is why Misha is so awesome. Still, there's no point in arguing. Yeah, good for you, right? Anyway, what's the deal with you and Hanako? Deal? You were hanging out with her today, weren't you? I forgot. Have there been any fireworks? Any gossip you've been withholding from me? If I told you about my circumstances, it wouldn't be gossip, would it? I guess not. We're just friends, I guess. Why are you so interested? I thought you and Shizune didn't like her. It's not really like that. You know, Shi-chan and Lily don't get along well. And since you can't really get Hanako away from Lily, we don't talk to her much. But that doesn't mean I can't be concerned for her. What is there to be concerned about? Well, she never hangs out with anyone else, right? It's no good, Hee-chan. If Shizune and Lily dislike each other because their personalities are different, then I hate to think how Misha and Hanako would get along. Well, to be fair, okay, Misha specifically, but I mean, I'm a fairly outgoing extrovert, and I have a lot of introverted friends. I get along with them fine. I have more introverted friends, actually, now that I mention it. I just have a giant network of them. Oh, probably because I'm terminally online, but really, opposites don't attract. Opposites attract if they are surface level. Yeah, I've got no fucking clue what I'm saying at this point. Opposites can attract. I don't know what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is just because their personalities are different doesn't mean they won't get along. Their personalities will only not get along if there's a critical mismatch in, like, worldview, which is introversion and extroversion. I don't think is actually as big. It's actually not as big of a condition as people like make it out to be. It's really not. There are so many people that like to think they're a different species, but really, from my analysis, the bigger split isn't introversion versus extroversion so much as a specific strain of introversion versus a specific strain of extroversion. And once you start moving beyond the stereotypes, realistically, I actually think the two get along very well. I mean, in one way or the other, we're all in the same boat here, right? Yeah, like, I'm not gonna be Kenji, okay? Men and women can get along, for instance, despite being quote-unquote opposites. Well, I guess. Goddamn, I am hot right now. I am taking off my shirt. This is one of the nice points I had in a VTuber avatar, is that you can just take off your shirt and do shit like that whenever you want. Like this one time when she left halfway through, Shi-chan went to the teacher and asked what was going to be done about it. He said that every student here has special needs, and Shi-chan shouldn't worry herself about it. My back is hot. Hanako never does any group work. She just runs off. Isn't that enough to be concerned about? I guess you're right. She hardly says a word when we're talking. Well, it's more than I've been able to do. She and I have both tried when she started, but she got scared and ran off. I considered telling Misha that exactly the same thing happened with me, but she seems caught up in thought. Listening to Misha without Shizune's influence is interesting. I think she needs to realize that people here don't care what she looks like and that she can trust us. If she could, I'd feel a lot better about her. I think this is what longest I've watched Misha without seeing her sign. When she's with Shizune, she's constantly waving her hand about, explaining the world to Shizune. That amount of effort probably places a strain even on an agile mind. And let's face it, Misha— Whoa! Okay, that is mean. That's actually not true at all, by the way. That's not true. But yeah, I do admit it. I feel like more like bubbly, excited women are commonly stereotyped as being kind of stupid. But that's just not true. That's not true. Misha's not stupid. Well, I'd like to keep an eye on her for you. But you should probably apologize for earlier. I don't think Hanako is cut out for that kind of joke. Oh! I didn't even notice. Sorry. Don't say it to me. Just mention it to her. Alright, first thing tomorrow, I'll speak to her. Good. Shizune never changed. A cacophony from the door heralds the return of Shizune, who has basically quite literally kicked the door open. I guess she can't really tell how much noise she is making. Oh, I thought she was doing it on purpose for a sec. And I was like, yeah, based. But no, she just doesn't know. Oh, Shi-chan, you're back! Shizune appears completely laden with goods from the convenience store. That was fast. Also, the convenience store people can sign. That's kind of cool. There's some surplus left from the festival. Since it's officially festival business, I've splurged a little. Nice idea, Shi-chan. 10 points. Oh no, that was Shi-chan saying it. Is that really allowed? I like that. For someone who refuses to join us, you seem to take an unhealthy interest in the politics of this council. This is corruption, I swear. I shall punish your insolence by rationing your portion of the feast. Fine, I get it. Misha slides the multiple stacks of paper to one side to make room for the avalanche of food Shizune spreading out. As I watch my head hard yet misdirected work become wasted. Oh, I realize that's little wonder why these two needed help. The convenience store meal isn't overly tasty, but at the very least, it's filling. Thanks for helping today. Most of the time, we just make up the reports for the staff. This year, we could at least make up some relevant headings on the debrief. Are you sure this isn't a corrupt organization? Not at all, not at all. We're by the book. It's not our fault if the book isn't specific enough. I thought that was a definition of corruption. You think too much. You know what? You're probably right. Anyway, I should be off. If I'm allowed to leave. Your work has been deemed sufficient. You may leave. Well, thank you. You know, if you stress the free side of things over the endless workload side, you probably end up with more recruits. You might just have a point. Well, think about it. Think about what we talked about. You don't have to tell that to Shizune if you don't want. What? Oh, right, I'll try to see her tomorrow. Good night, Hichan. Night, Misha. Shizune. 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 I have to watch Classroom of the Elite. It aired today. That was nice. Ah. Okay. I do kind of want to keep going, but... fuck it, we might have another one on Friday. Or not. Actually, I'm not sure. I also do acknowledge that I have to play Needy Streamer Overdose probably on Sunday again, but... man, it's so hard. It's just like, I don't know how to get that ending. Ay. Maybe I won't do it. I don't know. Whatever. All I know is that for this right here, Katawa Shoujo, we are finally on a good, proper route, which is nice. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't want to start, like, reread it all the way from the start. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna do that off screen. I'm just gonna read it. I'm not gonna make any different choices. I'm just gonna see the Hanako route, the good route, from start to finish. Or not, and by finish, I mean to right here. I'm just gonna get up to the part where I am. But yeah, that is gonna be that. Yeah, this is probably the Let's Play I'm enjoying the most right now. Well, to be fair, I'm only doing this in Needy Streamer. But yeah, I really love visual novels. Oh, there's so much... part of me also does... well, actually, nah. I'm not... I heard that... what's that? Wuthering Waves does really well on stream, but I just like... I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that. Because I love the game, but it's just like... I don't know if I want to do it on stream specifically. Anyways, is there anything else to do? I'm running out of games to play. Am I? Maybe, well, I'll figure something out. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed that video, folks. If you did, please leave a like, a subscribe, a comment down below, and smash that bell. Well, sky's up, and you guys are awesome. I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.